So, Kenyans wamesema, kuishi Kenya ni kama kupata, is it a degree? That is one pastor from Tanzania, and it is true. Now, when we look at what is happening now, Gachagua yesterday was there defending himself. And he says, in the first place, that the debate, or rather the impeachment proposal, the allegations were presented in a very complex way to the citizens for participation. Actually, how many of you know why Gachagua has to be impeached? That is my question. If you are on this platform, comment and say whether you know. On how many allegations and which ones, and how true are they? Now, yesterday, Gachagua made a move. I don't know whether he was guided by Paul Mwite and the team, the lawyers who are in charge of his case. And so he called a press conference, and a press release was conducted at his home in Karen. Hey, now what is in your dose, Maze? From what I listened to the entire time, I was just wondering, kwani watu waliamka saa ngapi na babu zetu wakilala? So I was looking at what he was telling us. In the first place, he told us that he came to give a press release because he has not been given time to give his response. And people are only responding to whether Gachagua has to go home or not. And they had not clearly shown in simple language why they're accusing him. In the next place is that it was rushed. How true is this? What do you think? And if you're not actually subscribed to my channel, subscribe to this channel and press the notification bell so that political temperatures are hot and we have so many stories to tell every day, every minute. Yeah? So that was it. Apart from that, Rigiji was saying that he has done his part. And therefore he wanted to respond to Kenyans so that they judge him based on that. So let's listen to what he has to say.
His response to those outrageous allegations. Again, an attempt to do a public participation in a very short exercise that was done. My response was not part of what was presented to the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya were being asked to give their views as to whether the deputy president should be impeached from office, and the accusations were attached, but in a highly legalistic language, beyond the comprehension of many Kenyans. But the response of the deputy president was not there to enable them make an informed decision by listening to the charges against him and listening to his response. Because the rules of natural justice demand that no man should be condemned unheard. My lawyers will be vigorously challenging that public participation as a nullity and that does not meet the threshold of public participation as expounded by the Supreme Court of Kenya during the celebrated case of Governor Peter Wabora. The motion alleges that 2 years since assuming office, Rigathi Gachagua has acquired property and wealth whose estimated value is 5.2 billion, despite his known income by way of employment is 24 million. This is extremely outrageous. Honorable Mutuse goes ahead to give properties that he alleges are owned by one Rigathi Gachagua. I trust he was just given a document to sign. Had he taken some bit of time to do some research, he would not embarrass himself and the National Assembly. James Ruto Gachagua was a governor of Nyeri and died in London on the 24th of February 2017, and yours truly was by his bedside. Prior to his death, 3 or 4 weeks before, in privacy, he wrote his will and appointed Gachagua as an executor of that will, jointly with Mwai Madenge, his close-time buddy, who is a quantity surveyor, and celebrated lawyer Njoroge Regeru. The three of us were tasked to manage his estate. In a will, you'll be given a copy. He did put his properties and assets and cash and anything that he owned in this world. And among the things that he did put was the Olive Garden Hotel, the Pingo Beach Resort, the Queen's Gate Apartments, and Langata high-rise flats. It is these four properties that the Honorable Mutuse alleges that Rigathi Gachagua has acquired them after becoming deputy president.
As you've heard, Rigathi is indicating that his brother died in 2017. He was a very rich man and he had a lot of property which he left in his will. Do you believe this? And if that is true, what do you think will happen with this impeachment proposal from Mutusi?
Single shred of evidence that this company has done wrong is not there. Morani Manufacturers Limited is a company that is founded by a character from our village and sold some shares to my wife and my children and interested them in manufacturing feeds for pigs and for chicken. It never even took off. This company has never traded in government. It has not done any business. It is actually dormant. I'm told the account has only 132,000 shillings. And you want to say the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, a man elected by 7.2 million Kenya shillings, because his wife and children have some shares in a company that has 132,000 shillings. Surely. Delta Merchants Limited.
What do I say? Rigiji, you have really boggled us, huh? You are mentioning so many companies. Delta, you mentioned Wamunyoro, you mentioned another one, which is this one that your kids started feeds, and it never started. Now, my question is, why did it not start? Okay. My other question is, why did you start companies, then they just become dormant? Okay, you've told us, is it Delta that is doing the more of real estate, something like that? And you've been told us it has so many rental houses that you acquired before you became a deputy. If this is true, what will happen again? Now, I wonder whether all our governors, our MPs, even the president can declare, on BBC, if you saw that clip, our president told the news anchor that he cannot share his wealth because it is on site. So Rigiji has decided to come out bravely and share his wealth. Wanasema watu wa mlima, kumbe mmejipanga hivyo, mmenichanua. Can I acquire even, let me say 1 out of 10 of that? Okay, let's continue watching and see.
There is Andrew Mulwa. He has sworn an affidavit with the false allegations. And he had better be very careful. Because he has made a statement on oath. In the affidavit, he says that Deputy President was involved in KEMSA 3.7 billion irregular procurement of malaria nets, either directly or through proxies. Further, Shubika Impex Limited is an international company, the 4th largest manufacturer of mosquito nets in the world. It has done many tenders with KEMSA functions. Article 28, which states that every person has inherent dignity and the right to have that dignity respected and protected. Article 29C, which states that every person has the right to freedom and security of the person, which includes the right not to be subjected to any form of violence from either public or private sources. Section 152G1 of the Land Act, which states that notwithstanding any provisions to the contrary in this act or in any other written
and hot and sweeter. Now, how I wish every other governor then would be on the question of impeachment, maybe, so that they can now tell us what have they done. Now, as you can see up there, Rigiji is defending himself, telling us what he has done, how he has acquired property, whose property it is, how he multiplied that, what his role, the role of children is, you know. And I don't know, but you can be convinced actually when you are watching this. But my question is, I thought this process should have been done earlier. Like they should have known already about his wealth, even before he became the vice president. Another thing is,
agreement between the parties.
Why don't we have such drillings for our leaders before they even become leaders, so that when they are leaders, we do not have questions about what they have. Na hii Kenya watu wanapataje pesa na vile kumekaa ngumu? Does it mean I'm the lazy one or I'm sleeping? Okay. So, Rigiji has even indicated that he never participated in evacuating people from the Nairobi River because they agreed they should not do so. He has even talked of articles. Kumbe Rigiji huwa si maziwa mala. You know, I heard that recently. Was it Gadoni who was talking about Rigiji wasimwekee Kinolero wakifikiria hajui kitu? So, chokoza nyuki ndio ujue ni nyuki. So Rigiji has gathered all the information, and the way he's composed, you cannot know he's the same Rigiji who could go to places and just talk. Now, the problem is, later on you see a video when the journalists are grilling him now and asking what he said in Kericho and what he's saying. What he said another day and what he's saying. Now, the aspect of shares is what surprised us. Shares. Yeah? So, it is high time mutuambie every single person wale walichukuliwa mkiappointiwa, tell us what is your share. Tell us what is your share. Yeah? Tuambie share yenu ni nini. Don't cheat us.
But I also want to remind you that I did not say that it's a company. I said like a company. Like. You look at the clip, it's there. Like. I get you. Without removing the agreement. Again, I am not responsible for making appointments in Kenya. I don't make any appointments. The Deputy President has not appointed anybody. You know, the appointing authority. Ladies and gentlemen, because my lawyers tell me we don't want to delve